All right, we are here. Like right when you made that face. There you go.
Right?
All right, so we are here with another live stream here on the Hop of Supremacy YouTube channel, and
we're only 7 minutes late this time.
Yeah, I know, right? Only 7 minutes.
That was my fault, though.
Yeah, it's all right. It's all good. But yeah, as you see, our guest, Davey Crocko, we are very happy to have you. Everyone, let everyone know who you are.
All right, so my name's Dave. I go by Davey Crocko. I run a YouTube channel that goes from anything from, I don't know, libertarian views to some conspiratorial stuff. And I just do a lot of different, I cover a wide range of subjects, and just met you guys through Twitter, what, like a year ago?
Yeah.
And I think it's been cool since. I mean, we probably differ on some things, but for the most part, we're always pretty cool. Like, I don't remember getting in any debates with you guys.
Nah, I think.
I don't remember that either.
Yeah, I don't remember any of that stuff. I mean, if it happened, then I completely forgot about it.
I just give up on that stuff on Twitter, man. Like, with getting into it with people, it's just, it goes nowhere if they're not being constructive. You know, like you guys get it with the shit, the trolls.
Yeah, sometimes if I'm like arguing with someone. 9 times out of 10, my responses are me just being an asshole or like some kind of, troll type of answer because it's just funny, Yeah,
I think people lost their way with like they just always want to win some giant argument, and if they don't, they either want to like flag your stuff or just like demean you in the worst way possible. Like you're a bad person. It's just like, all right, we're just arguing about like a stupid subject,
Right.
But I don't know if you guys get that kind of stuff. I get that kind of stuff.
What's the craziest argument that you've been on Twitter?
On Twitter?
Yeah.
It was probably around the time of the Eric Clanton stuff when he hit that guy with the bike lock. And people were saying like, well, they kind of deserve it because of their views. So I get into this whole thing with like, all right, well, we can't bring it to violence just because we disagree with somebody. And then people are like, no, we should. Like, we should bring it to violence. I was like, oh, okay. And then my account gets taken down because I'm advocating. It's just like that leftist slant that they have. Like, I lost my main Twitter account, and now I'm on the verge of losing the YouTube account.
It's so weird, though, that someone says we should bring it to violence and nothing happens to them. But if you say, no, we should have peace and talk things out. Oh, you're banned or strike or whatever. It's like, what kind of world are we living in,
Yeah.
Did you guys see that tweet to the lady from the NRA? Her name's Dana Loesch or whatever.
Yeah.
Like someone straight up told her like that her baby should be murdered or something. She reported it, and they were just like, "Oh yeah, that's good."
Oh,
like,
all right.
She put up the whole email where they were just like, "Oh yeah, we finally looked at it and we came to the conclusion that that's all right." And it's like, okay, it's okay. That's where we're at now.
And then people get banned for really dumb things. Like Scott Horton got taken off of Twitter for what? What did he say?
Okay, yeah, that whole thing is crazy.
Like,
he got temporarily suspended.
Who's Scott Horton?
Who's Scott Horton?
Yeah.
Okay, so he's like the biggest, at least to me he is, but to a lot of people, he's the biggest anti-war advocate. He's a very huge peace advocate. He runs the Libertarian Institute. He's foreign policy is like that's his forte. Like you want to talk anything foreign policy, he knows everything. I mean, you say one topic and he'll talk to you for like an hour.
I know.
Yeah, he's an encyclopedia. Yeah, we've had him on a couple of times. Yeah.
Name then. Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, so he, along with Daniel McAdams, who's part of the Ron Paul Institute, that whole organization, and then Peter Van Buren, who used to be part of the State Department. Peter Van Buren got his Twitter account completely. He's no longer allowed on Twitter because he said that I can't remember who it was, but it was some news person or whatever. I can't remember. I think like Jonathan.
He was just a reporter.
Yeah,
right?
His name was like Jonathan Katz or something.
Yeah.
They were kind of going back and forth, and Jonathan Katz obviously is making fun of Trump and his supporters. And then Peter Van Buren makes the comment saying along the lines of, "Well, I think someone should just bite your face off like a zombie," because Jonathan Katz was referring to MAGA people or deplorables as zombies. So he's like, "Yeah, I think one of them should bite your face off." Completely banned off of Twitter, not allowed. on Twitter anymore. So Scott Horton says, huh, look at this boohoo little bitch saying something like this. He gets temporarily suspended for that.
Dude.
And Daniel McAdams also gets suspended for, get this, he retweets Scott Horton's tweet.
It's so skewed. I mean, we all know this. I think everyone's starting to realize how bad it is.
Mm-hmm.
But I think some people, there's the group that are cheering it on, which I just can't understand. I just can't understand going into your settings and reporting somebody. I would just never do it. I don't care what they said. I just couldn't. I can't relate to somebody that is so happy about like, oh, I got this guy banned. Like, you're a big fan of Anthony Cumia, right? Like, I think I saw you with the shirt on. What's he on, like his 10th account? I just see him tweeting out all the time. It's like, all right, well, just make sure you follow me here, because if this one goes down, like, that's the bulk of his tweets now. Jumping from Twitter accounts. And he just talks about how, like, it's just constantly people flagging him and feeling good about it. And they'll send him a message like, oh, I was the one that got you banned. And it's just like, this culture, I just can't relate to it, man.
I can understand someone flagging someone or like reporting someone if you like there was like a legit harassment or like legit danger to your family or life, then obviously that's understandable. But just because oh, someone called you a name, I'm gonna report you.
Yeah, someone called me a bitch. Oh my god, I'm gonna report you.
Yeah, it's like words nowadays are worse than when someone punches you in the face.
Yeah, the words are violence thing is the movement I just don't understand. And I just think it's this pussification of people that everyone's really soft now. Like, I just remember a time where you just said whatever you wanted. You just don't go after someone and say you're going to murder them. Right. If you're arguing or just, I mean, some people aren't even arguing. They're just tweeting out silly shit that people get offended by. I think the only thing is competition now, because some people are talking about regulating these sites, and I just don't think that's the way to go. And I just think it has to be a new site that comes up that is just more open and more free.
Yeah, that's a big argument nowadays is, what to do with social media, prime example, what to do with Twitter and Facebook. And they're already doing all that. I mean, we see it now. They don't need, I mean, not really any government intervention really, because a lot of them are doing it by themselves because they have that political, they skew one way, and anyone who doesn't, they're going to get, censored or whatever. But so you're saying that like just a new site in general would just be completely 100% say whatever you want. Is that pretty much what you're?
I'm just saying there's people advocating for government to step in and regulate. There's some people coming in saying they want kind of like an internet bill of rights where it's a set kind of law across all social media sites where it's just more open. But I don't think the social media sites have to agree to that unless if there's actually government involvement where it's kind of governed by law more than their set policies. What I'm saying is I don't think we should look at Twitter and Facebook as the only thing that can ever be. That I kind of relate it back to when MySpace was the biggest social media company, and that was where the social discourse was. It'd be crazy to think that we would have regulated that. 10 years from now, these sites can die. They're not impervious to getting taken down or just getting unpopular. And I just think competition in the free market from sites that are coming up now, BitChute, Gab, they might not be the answer, but someone can have the answer instead of having government step in and govern over social media. I just think that's a recipe for disaster.
Yeah, I think 5 years ago we weren't having this kind of conversation of regulating social media, whatever, because it wasn't, no one really thought that it would come to this.
Yeah.
The Trump election shook everything up.
Yeah.
Everything ramped up. It's way more serious now. A lot of people are way more tribal now. It's a lot different. I don't know how politically active you guys were before this election or prior elections, what political ideology you are with, but there was a shift after that election that was noticeable to everybody.
Yeah.
And now we're getting the brunt end of it. I don't know how you guys felt about Alex Jones being taken down, but I think that's another big marker in this, where you're saying a guy all the companies in one night taking somebody down is okay. That's not cool. That's not cool with me. I can't stand for that.
Yeah, and I did see some people saying that, oh, I'm so happy that, you know, he got, you know, banned off of Facebook and all that stuff. And
It's
it's
like,
just,
wait till it's you.
yeah, wait till
You're
it's
next.
you or someone that you like, you know, then
Yep.
you're going to say something because, you know, I mean, obviously Alex Jones is going to have people who hate him. I mean, it's just comes with
He's
character.
just an extreme character. He's an extreme character, but you don't have to watch him.
Right.
If you just don't follow him, you're not going to see him. He's not inboxing you, sending you a shit. He's got like 6 million subs. You know, he's huge. And I look at him like, I always looked at him as kind of a gatekeeper. He gets you in the door. He says some shit that kind of makes sense, and then he goes off the rails, and you kind of just walk away.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think that's how most people look at Alex Jones. I don't think people look at him as like the holy grail. But again, with Trump being elected and his voice getting propped up so big, people go, oh, Alex Jones, take him down. We can take votes away from Donald Trump. We can take passion away from some people that this is their outlet. You know, being on comment sections or following Alex Jones on Twitter is a big deal for them. Maybe that will disincentivize them from getting more involved. And I think that's a big part of what they're doing with censoring people on the right.
I think, oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, if you guys saw that H3H3 thing, that podcast.
No, I didn't, no.
Okay, so it's a pretty big YouTube podcast. It's pretty mainstream kind of. I don't know how to talk. I don't know what it is. It's a couple. They're just mainstream YouTube.
Is that Ethan Klein?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so like mainstream shit. They were talking about Alex Jones on a live stream. They get shut down as they're talking about him. So before, he's talking about defending YouTube in the situation. Then he talks about Alex Jones, and they shut him down in the middle of the live stream, give him a strike, and he can't live stream anymore.
Wow.
When he comes back, he's kind of got a different attitude. So I think people seeing it when it affects them, like you were saying, like when it's someone you like or when it's you, I think that's what people need to see, is it happen to them where you have one opinion and then you get smacked in the face and go, oh, this isn't cool, that if I said a guy's name, my channel gets shut down. I mean, that's pretty fucking crazy.
That is crazy. Right in the middle of the live stream while he was talking about defending YouTube. That's crazy.
Yeah, he was like leaning towards YouTube's side, like, because everyone brings up the Sandy Hook thing. And it's like, sad. But it was 6 years ago. So that's not the reason he's being taken down. If that was the reason, he would have already been down right when he said it.
Mm-hmm.
And when Joe Rogan came out and said that he can't have him on, I just thought that was a pussy move. I don't understand how he can't. It's his show. He doesn't want to. This is my friend. This is my friend Alex. I can't have him on though.
Yeah, I guess the only way to have him on is I don't know, maybe if he'd have him. Well, I guess he's gonna
have him on because of the Sandy Hook thing. It's like, dude, you had him on last year.
Yeah.
So like,
you're smoking a bong with him.
Stop lying. You just don't want to have him on because it's gonna look bad because you're kind of rebranding yourself as this big podcast guy. And fucking I lost a lot of respect for Joe, man.
And that was one of his most watched ones too, because they were like smoking a bong with Eddie Bravo, and he was getting high and talking about aliens. It was great.
It was just silly and great. Eddie Bravo's awesome, man. Like, he'll just say whatever, you know. Yeah. I like people like that. They don't care. They're not offending anybody. They're not trying to be hurtful. Right. Alex, maybe sometimes he gets extreme. Eddie Bravo's a lovable guy, man. Like, I've never heard him say anything disrespectful about someone personally. So the fact that he can't have him on and he's taking this new route of like anything that's a conspiracy can't be talked about, it's just weird. It's weird. Yeah, I don't know. I get conspiratorial, so I don't know what you guys think of that kind of stuff.
Well, I was gonna mention about Joe Rogan. You know, there's that kind of that argument about him whenever he has a guest on. He kind of caters to who his guest is, and that's kind of how he talks. You know, because say for example, well, I guess except for Steven Crowder and the whole weed thing, that's a whole other debate. But
yeah.
But whenever like weed comes up, he gets so defensive, blah 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 blah. But that's a whole other thing. But like so any kind of guest that he has, he kind of he wants to be nice. He doesn't want to go too you're dumb. You don't know what you're talking about. He
does get like that with some people. It's weird. He'll placate to some people. And I don't think it's a left-right thing. I just think if he thinks he can match and argue with them, he'll kind of push a point. And if it's on weed, he thinks he knows a lot about weed, and Crowder probably doesn't know as much about, you know, the specifics of THC levels and all this stuff.
Mhm.
He's gonna put his feet to the fire. But I think that's an argument that needs to happen between them two, and they can just come back together and be friends after. I don't think. I mean, they got heated. They got heated, but men get heated in arguments when you can't throw fists. You have to use your words.
I mean, Crowder said multiple times that weed is like his least favorite thing to talk about because he doesn't care.
Yeah, he does. And I think that's an attitude more people should have. I mean, you guys, I mean, I don't know exactly what you guys, I would say libertarian. That's how I described you.
Mhm.
Like when I was like, oh, I'm going on a channel, they're most likely libertarian. I look at all drugs as just like, if people want to use them, just use them.
Yeah.
I don't want to put them in jail. I don't want to take them from them. But I don't want to do them. But I don't really care if anybody else does. And that's really any drug. Any drug. And if you want to talk about how they get in the country, that's a whole other thing. But if they're already here, I think if people want to use them, just go ahead.
Yeah. So anytime the libertarian, you get labeled as a libertarian, you're automatically a weed smoker. You know, you run around naked because, you know, you do whatever you want type of thing. You know,
but it's more like live or let be, right? Like,
yeah.
Mhm.
As long as, you know, you're not forcing your will onto someone who doesn't want that forced upon, then yeah.
So like in the last election, who was the candidate you would have, if you think it matters, like who would have you wanted?
Well,
you guys like, are you Rand Paul? Or are you?
Rand Paul was probably the most libertarian, but man, his campaign was terrible.
Yeah. He's not his dad, man. His dad had that, I don't know, he kind of got you fired up, but he wasn't a fired up guy. He just said the right things. Like, man, we don't need to go over there. Like, I just always loved that about the wars. Like, I don't want to be in a war.
Right.
And I think more people are coming around to that. And that's one thing the left and the right could agree on. Like, we don't want to be overseas killing people and fighting people for no fucking reason.
Right.
Other than, you know, more power for the governments of each country. You know, it's not the people that want to fight, just the government versus that government.
Mm-hmm.
No one wants that anymore. And I think more people are coming to that. And if we could just agree on certain things, stop talking about fucking transgender kids or men should wear bras or this stupid shit.
Oh yeah. Oh,
yeah. I know you fucking are on top of that. So that's where I find that kind of stuff. Good shit is going on in the world today. It's fucking great.
I don't know if I'm like attracting her or what. I keep seeing articles about it.
Oh, it's just like how the algorithms, they know you like that weird shit, so they just keep plugging it onto your channel constantly. Like, I get crazy shit on my channel. Like, stuff that I would never watch, but they think because I watch something else that I'm into it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you search one thing one time, and you just keep getting the same thing over and over. And like that's how, like, those arguments where, like, you know, they're watching you or wherever. It's like, I don't know. I mean, how do they know that I searched for this and now I'm just getting ads about it? Like, you know, like, why am I getting this? Doesn't make any sense.
I believe that. I mean, we want to have all this stuff in our phone if there wasn't a use for someone like DARPA or one of these programs to use it. I mean, I was big on this thing that I think the government's already involved in the social media from the beginning. So they get contracts with them and so they can pull the data, like how Facebook gives out the data. Mm-hmm. I think the government's already entrenched. It's just not as much as we know. Like, I was looking up statistics about how much cops can ask social media for your information. And it's like Apple gives a, and they go by how many times do police ask, and like Apple is like 81% of the times that they ask, the information is given. Google's like 70%.
Wow.
So there's fishy stuff that goes on that people don't really think about, but you know, we have to trade these great devices that we have for losses of our freedoms. We just have to agree to it. That's why you have to hit permission every time you get an app or you get something new.
Yeah, and you know, kind of going along with that freedom thing, the gun control debates back in because, they had that shooting in Jacksonville because that guy apparently lost a video game. He was like, you know what, fuck you guys. I lost. Well, I'm going to kill you because I can't take it.
What's your guys' take on that? Because people have been asking me, and they're like, "You think it's like a false flag or something?" I'm just like, "Nah, I just think it was a fucking loser."
Yeah. That's
That's basically what I think.
I think he brought the gun thinking maybe I'll use it. He got there. He's on medications. He's already fucked. He's fucked up in the head. Yeah, the medications are a big issue. The SSRIs are a huge issue. He's fucked up in the head already. He can't handle losing. He probably got teased a little bit because people talk shit during video games. And he's popped off. I think he's just a crazy little fucking loser.
I don't know. I don't know a whole lot about him, but from what I saw, it seemed like he was, I don't know, maybe kind of successful. Like he won some tournaments,
Yep.
So like he was a shitty gamer. So I don't know what, it just seemed like
Can't handle losing.
Yeah, he couldn't handle losing. But I don't know. It's just
he wanted to be a big man, hurt some people. There's people that have came out and said like he was just weird all weekend. And like I didn't look crazy into it because I don't like overloading myself with these mass shooting things.
Right.
It's too much sometimes. But even the announcer, when they were like calling him, they're like, this guy shows no emotion.
I saw that.
You won't hear anything out of him. It's like not fucking normal. Not normal.
I don't know. Maybe he was just, he was putting his game face on. He's like zoning, play the video game, because some people are probably like that when when they're in tournaments. They're just like focused. Don't talk to me. I gotta focus on this.
Yeah, he's in the zone. Well, like I heard, do you guys know Brandon Tatum? He's a conservative black dude, former cop.
I don't.
I feel like I heard the name.
Yeah.
He's cool, man. You guys should check him out. But he was just saying like, we got to be prepared for this kind of stuff. If you're having the gun control debate, then you also got to have the debate of, okay, are we going to have metal detectors at these places? Like if you go to Disneyland, you're not getting in with a gun.
Right.
Check. You're going through a metal detector. You're seeing a couple of police officers. Then you're getting in. So these open air spaces like this are, it's sad, but they're just going to be more controlled, more security.
What do you think about gun-free zones?
I don't like that.
Yeah.
What state are you guys in? Texas?
Yep.
Yeah.
So it's cool down there, right?
Yeah, for the most part, yeah. They still have their laws down here, but it's funny too because I learned that Arizona is actually even more lenient on guns in Texas, and I was just like,
you don't need a permit, right?
I think that's what it is. Yeah, you don't need a permit. I think you can literally openly carry you can openly carry a gun, but I don't know. I could be completely off, but from what I've read and all that, from talking to people,
it's hard because it's not a law of the land thing. It's like this state, you can have this specific thing, but you can't cross this imaginary line with that thing.
Yeah.
Right.
I can't name the exact states but like New York to Pennsylvania, there's a separate law of what you can have and what you can't have. And that's weird to me, these imaginary lines where there's different laws. And I do like state laws, it's good to have state laws, but I think something that's an amendment, Second Amendment, should cover it all. It should trump the other.
Yeah,
so I'm down with open carry. I'm down with licensed, law-abiding firearm carriers.
I think, I think gun-free zones are just they just add to the problem because of course everyone's heard this argument before. Well, if a criminal has a gun and they intend on hurting someone, they see, no guns allowed. Well, shit, I know no one's gonna be there to shoot at me, so blow.
No one's going to be there to stop you from bringing the gun in from the get-go. That's the problem. If you're going to have a gun-free zone, you have to be able to enforce that little shitty sign you put up. Like that little, 3x3, pretty-looking sign is not deterring anybody. It's just not. Like you said, we've heard this argument before, but every time it happens, I think people need to realize that.
Yeah, I think, I don't know, a lot of the gun control advocates, I would probably say maybe 75, 85% of them don't even know what the fuck they're talking about.
Yeah, it got crazy after Parkland.
Yeah.
That was one of the first strikes I got on my channel, was just showing interviews of people. Like a guy goes out on the street, interviews people about gun control. They don't know what they're talking about. And they gave me a strike for that because they said it was bullying. But it's not bullying. They just couldn't answer the questions. Like, it's not me saying it's funny. It's people thinking it's funny that they can't answer the question. Like, I didn't put commentary and say, look at these idiots. They don't know. I just put up interviews. But somehow that's bullying. So that was my first strike.
Did YouTube decide that on their own?
I'm sure someone flagged it, reported it. I get that a lot. Like, I had one strike, it went away, and then I got 2 strikes within the last month.
Jeez.
Wow.
So it goes with, like, growth of the channel and what you're talking about. After that one, the first strike was, like, literally just a video about some weird death. And they said it was, like, sexual in nature because he was, like, mummified or something.
What?
And I was like, I go, he was being sexual. I'm just reading the story from the fucking report. Like, I'm not into the shit. He's into the shit. So, give me a for that.
It's like,
but they don't.
It's almost like you're being a reporter and someone's saying, "Hey, you can't report on that. Sorry, you can't do that. It's too sexual."
It was in People magazine with a police report that he just got like tied up as a mummy, and he died because it was stupid to tie him up as a mummy. You know.
Right.
That's what he's in. It was in California, Hollywood, obviously. So that was the first strike. So they last 90 days. And then the second strike was Thank God for Abortion video that I just reacted to. So that video's out. That video's cool, but me reacting to it is not cool.
That makes no sense at all.
So it is. That was a Jezebel piece, by the way. That was Thank God for Abortion.
Oh, wow.
It's her movement she's trying to start.
I know it's like before that time, but try reading that piece again in Michelle Wolf's voice.
Oh, God.
If you don't have an abortion,
Can we not? Oh, God.
I think it was a thing they were trying to push where they were trying to take religion from the people and move it to their side. Like, well, we thank God for abortion. And it's just, I'm not happy that she got removed, but it's deserved. Like, her show is terrible.
Yeah.
She just has an annoying ass voice, man. Like, I don't know why she was talking shit about Roseanne. She's like a less funny version of Roseanne. She's trying to be shocking. That annoying shrill voice. It's the same thing. Like, she looked up to her at one point and then just turned on her.
So Roseanne's character from, the rebooted Roseanne or whatever, with the Connors, she's going to be killed off. So yeah. I don't know how they're going to deal with that.
I don't know if they're going to do like South Park did Chef or something, but like, I don't know how extreme they're going to get. That show, I don't understand how you have Roseanne without Roseanne.
It's going to be called The Connors.
Yeah, I think out of principle they'll keep it up for 2 seasons just because they don't want to like show how bad the reviews and the views and everything is, but that thing's not going to last.
Man, they shot themselves in the foot with that because, and I guess Roseanne had something to do with it as well, but that show had it was one of the best viewed network television shows, and it did better than I think a lot of the other rebooted shows like Will and Grace when it came back. It did better than that. Mm-hmm. Some other shows, Arrested Development, but that's Netflix. That's kind of a different algorithm. But yeah, the new Roseanne was like really successful. I don't know how. It's weird. It's like if you had Seinfeld, but Jerry Seinfeld isn't in there. It's like, what are you gonna call it now? 3 people?
Yeah, like the 3 people that can't be funny without Jerry Seinfeld. Like, they could never have it because of Michael Richards, but
well, yeah, that's true.
He had his moment.
Right. Well, they kind of did that. They did that thing in Curb Your Enthusiasm when they did their little reunion, which was great. That little full reunion, which is awesome. That was like the perfect way to do it. Just have a reunion, but not really a reunion.
Yeah, and that's coming back. I guess they let him take off as much as he wants, and when he wants to come back and make a show, I guess he's coming back with a new season of Curb. So. Yeah,
because he just came out with one. Not
the
too
fat
long
dude
ago.
that's like his friend in it. I don't know his name. He's from that show, The Goldbergs or whatever.
Oh crap! Yeah,
he was on Rogan talking about it. But the Roseanne thing, like that's another one Rogan turned on. He didn't have her on. He kept saying, "Oh, that's my friend. I got to have her on." And then he's like, "Well, she was on Ambien, so I don't know if I want to have her on at this moment."
I thought Roseanne. I thought it was that she decided not to do it.
I don't know, man, because she did like 5 interviews that week with like no one nearly as big as him.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think he's being shady.
God, it's so weird. I think people are getting to him because he's so big.
He's gonna self-censor himself,
Oh,
like by
man.
not having people on.
Yeah, it's crazy. Because I mean, so he's had Owen Benjamin on a few times, right? Great, and every single time he's on, they have a great discussion. They talk, great. I don't know if he'd ever have him on now. If he's gonna not have Roseanne, if he's not gonna have Alex Jones, I think Owen Benjamin's gonna be another one of those people he's not gonna have on anymore.
Yeah, we should talk about the Owen Benjamin thing. Since
that's why I brought it up.
All right, you're good. You're good. I don't get to live stream, so I don't know these segues here.
Oh yeah, you should do them more often. Oh wait, sorry.
He went off, man. He just went off on a stream, Like, I think he finally just said, these people aren't my friends, and I'm just going to pull out text messages, and I'm going to pull out, I don't know if you guys saw his stream. I know you said you saw a little bit of it or whatever, but he was just straight up went at Theo Vaughn, Sam Harris, Joe Rogan, Bert Kreischer. And I think his main point was like, these dudes are texting me that they're my friends and that they're going to have me on.
Right.
And Theo was like, oh, dude, I didn't say anything bad about you. And Owen was like, oh, I just believed them. I never watched the video. Then he watches it, and like Whitney Cummings is on saying, oh, yeah, isn't Owen a white power guy? And instead of Theo being like, no, that's my friend, he's not. Like, he just went on with it and was like, oh, yeah, he's like Roseanne's son. He's getting desperate. And it's just like, I think he finally saw that Theo wants a development deal. He's not going to go against Whitney Cummings. She's got a lot of power in Hollywood. She's big into those TV shows. I don't think Joe Rogan will have him back on because I think his name is toxic now and he doesn't want anything to do with it. And I think it's just an easy joke for them to say, oh, yeah, Owen's just the racist comic now. Mm-hmm. I honestly think I heard about him from you. Like, were you an Owen Benjamin fan?
Yeah, we're pretty big Owen Benjamin fans.
Yeah, that's what
we met him a couple times, and we had him on the channel, but I didn't know that happened, though. That must have just happened.
This just happened this week. So I took a compilation of all of them saying what they were saying about him.
I saw that video got viral on your channel.
Yeah, so that got a little bigger than I probably needed it to get. And that got me a lot of heat, man. Like, a lot of people. And then he played it in his stream.
Oh, that's awesome.
Like, shouted out, like, oh, this guy Davey made the video. And I kind of spliced in Bert Kreischer saying move it N-word in it, like, just multiple times to be funny. So I think people are taking it the wrong way. Like, I was trying to take them out of context. I was just being silly, honestly. Yeah. It was just a silly video that went viral. But he shouted me out, and then a bunch of people just came in, hate in the comments. They think Rogan's like a hero for them or something, and that by me just showing Owen's point of view that I'm against other people. I love Theo Vaughn. I've laughed harder at that guy than probably anybody. When he started rambling off his little Southern stories, I think he's hilarious on The Fighter and the Kid. But I think he's a coward for not standing up to Whitney Cummings.
Yeah, Whitney Cummings of all people. I mean, come on, really?
I don't even know who that is.
Like, I don't.
You know what's funny about her? People were saying that, like, on some of the comments, were like, "Oh, I can't believe." I guess I'm not surprised that Theo Vaughn wouldn't stand up against a melted candle.
But he's like,
he
texted Owen saying, like, I need it. Like, she's helping me with a development deal. I don't think I said anything bad. I know I didn't say anything bad about you. And I was like, oh, cool, man. Like, love to come out on the show. And I guess he just ghosted him once he called him out. So I'm just cool with the call out, man. Like, I don't like the disloyalty. I hate fake Hollywood shit. I just think it's a toxic cesspool of just fake people. And that's why I liked Rogan. I thought he was an outsider. I really did.
Yeah.
I don't think he is.
And I think you mentioned earlier, I could have overheard or misheard, but you said that you lost respect for him because of that.
Lost respect for Joe Rogan when he said he can't have Alex Jones on. Yeah. It's his empire, man. So that either tells me he just doesn't want to have him on and he's too scared to say I don't want to have him on because he's toxic, or there's other people involved that kind of pull the strings for that big empire.
Yeah, but think if Joe Rogan had Alex Jones on, like the only person to have Alex Jones, you know how many views that would get? I mean, he has to think that would be a possibility, that this could be like a $5-10 million $10 million, 10 million, watched video or whatever.
And he's supposed to be his friend.
Yeah.
He says that all the time. And Alex Jones always says, like, oh, yeah, he says he's my friend as he stabs me every time. Like, he'll always throw a backhanded compliment. Like, oh, Alex Jones is crazy. Do an impression of him. And that's cool. Friends should do that. But you should also give your friend an opportunity to come on and say, hey, man, I apologize for the Sandy Hook stuff. You're supposed to be the king of free speech, Joe Rogan. Like, you've advocated this for years, so it's just really bizarre that you want to have the guy that's pretty much the martyr for modern day free speech on the internet.
Yeah.
It is fucking weird. And the more I think about it, the more weirded out I get. How many cats do you guys get?
Just one.
Just the one.
But
Just the one? I was watching the last one. It's like it was getting crazy or something.
Yeah, every single time we film a video, she always does that, which is funny now because she's just laying there nice and quiet.
Now.
It's like, oh yeah, really? But yeah, it is kind of weird though. But I think a lot of it has to do with timing too, because like we were kind of talking earlier about the Trump thing and how when he became president, everyone just went their little corners and split up, like the Red Sea or whatever. And yeah, I think the Alex Jones thing, like the timing is really peculiar because midterms are coming up, and for some reason these dumb fucks think if they ban Alex Jones off of Facebook that his fans are just gonna be like, oh, I guess I can't watch Alex Jones anymore. I mean, they can't go, like they can't, like they're stupid. That like I could just type in Infowars.com and watch it there.
Yeah, I know, right?
Like, are they that retarded?
Well, this is what I think. One, they're setting a bar that they can do it. They're pointing to one of the biggest channels and saying, we can just unperson you from every platform. And we're openly telling you we can do it because we're all meeting together and doing it on the same day. So that can happen to anybody. Watch your P's and Q's. The other thing I think is mainstream media dying out. They still want to control the narrative.
Yeah.
They don't want to lose that. So YouTube pays a lot of money to these mainstream media companies to help them with their YouTube channel. So they pay them to make original content. That's why CNN has all these new, really short, snappy videos with nice thumbnails that get a lot of views because they're pushed onto the trending section. So it's a collusion between the two to keep that mainstream media opinion on YouTube. Because 6 years ago, YouTube was out to kill the mainstream media.
Right.
You want them gone so they get all the views over on their platform. Now they're bringing in the mainstream media. And it's just a way to control the message. And that message is left-leaning at this point.
Yeah, once Google bought YouTube, it kind of just went downhill from there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think YouTube was $90 million they invested in companies like CNN and Vox, and I think Fox was the only right-leaning one that got a little money. Google spent about $300 million, and they just call them authoritative sources. So when you search a subject, instead of getting an alternative news site, your first 10 are going to be CNN, MSNBC, all these sites, and those are the authoritative. If I put up a video talking about global warming, they insert a Wikipedia article under my video.
Oh yeah,
that's how bad it's getting, man. It's just really bad.
I saw one too, and I think it was a Norm Macdonald compilation of AIDS jokes, and underneath they had a thing that told you what AIDS was.
Is it like looks like an ad?
Yeah, it's like a Wikipedia. Oh. You click on it, it goes to a Wikipedia page about what's AIDS.
Yeah, it's for the more conspiratorial channels. Like if you're saying, pick your thing, JFK. They're going to tell you what the official story of JFK is because they don't need you going to this crazy person's channel and maybe hearing a different idea about what could have happened on the biggest conspiracy. Like, people love it's entertaining. People like JFK conspiracies, 9/11. Like, they just love looking into it, man. Like, and I don't think we should discourage people from doing it. Like, you can get crazy. People can get crazy with it. But is it harming anybody to think in your own head that JFK wasn't shot by one person? I don't think it's crazy.
No, I mean, that movie JFK pretty much.
Yeah.
Back and to the left, back and to the left. And even though he's like over on that, over like whatever side he was, like, how could this be possible if you shoot from here?
like when you go to the museum, like it's supposed to like explain what happened and everything. But after I went to the museum, I'm like, yeah, this didn't actually happen this way. Now I'm sure. Like,
yeah, the museum got you
know.
to that point.
Yeah, you can't take official stories. You just can't. In my opinion, I don't take them.
So, okay. So it's like for official story, right? And you know how a lot of people on Twitter, and I know you've seen this, where everyone's like, well, if I teach my kids about the presidents and all their presidents, what am I going to do when I get to Trump? I'm just going to skip over him because he didn't exist. Because we're
What I always say is my parents had to explain a cigar going into a pussy to me when I was a little kid. I think we can handle one. Don't get your kids into politics at goddamn 3 years old. It's weird. They don't need it. And I think they can handle it at a certain age. Like, oh, Donald Trump's our president. You don't need to worry about it. Just go outside and play. It doesn't really.
Yeah,
They shouldn't be involving kids, man.
I mean, and if you are, if you don't like Trump, then whatever, that's fine. But I get it. But if you're gonna like talk about how he became president, all that, at least be like, okay, this is what happened. Hillary Clinton got more of the popular vote, but she didn't win these states in order to become president. So it was her downfall that she didn't campaign over in states that she needed to. Instead of, oh, let's go campaign in California for the 50th time, even though I had that state in the bag already.
But the Russians interesting.
Oh yeah, Russian collusion and all that stuff.
I just look at her and I see pure evil. She's an evil person. Her husband's an evil person. They've done so much shit. Like, I just can't believe that she even had the audacity to run. The audacity to run, openly just bitch slap, I already forgot his name, Bernie Sanders. Just openly take him out of the question, and everybody knows that you screwed him out.
Right.
And then just run like you're this presidential stateswoman that everyone's going to respect. People hate her. Like, Trump is hated, but like you get some real hatred with Hillary Clinton from both sides. She's not a respected woman.
Especially from the Bernie Sanders people. They hate her, especially when they found out what happened and all that leaked emails and all. They're like, oh, hell no.
Yeah, like I don't want to go too deep on like what I think. I think she's like killed people before, but like her had people kill people to cover up some of the stuff she's done.
Yeah.
But just see how she slides out of the stuff because she's just so entrenched in that goo of corrupt politics. Like,
I don't know how they do it, but they are successful slimy motherfuckers.
They have so much stuff on other people because they've been at the top. Like, Bill Clinton was like a respected president at one point, like people liked him a lot. He was really popular. He had a lot of power, man. Like, from where he started, the things they covered up to even allow him to be a governor. Like, he had rape cases going back to college that they just swept under the rug to get him into politics, man. Like, it's an evil family. It just really is. I can't stand them. But I think it's all, I think both sides, the whole unit, the illusion of a choice that things really change between a Barack Obama and a President, well, not Trump because he's kind of different, but between a Bush and Obama, it's not that much different.
Man, just wait until like the Clintons pass and then the Bushes pass. How everyone's just gonna be like, oh, I love that. Like when McCain, for example, oh, I love them and they were so good and all that. And it's like you hated this person for like your entire career. Now all of a sudden you're gonna talk about how you like them. Get out of here. You're fucking.
Yeah, it's really weird, the reactions. It's like because everyone has to have a take now. No one can just sit one out for a day. Like McCain, like, someone has to hop in with like he was either a piece of shit or like we really need to respect him. When it's just like this guy just did a lot of stuff we don't want in our world and our politicians. Just wanted war. Like, this guy was a warmonger. That's okay to say, and it's sad that he died for his family.
Right.
I just think they just take it like that. Like that whole thing where he's on stage talking about bombing Iran. It's just so weird. Where he's singing "Bomb, bomb, 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 bomb Iran." Yeah. It's like this guy loves it. Like, he just loves killing innocent people in these other countries. And the whole thing with Obamacare, where he was the one that was the last vote to get it in. If he would have just said went against it, we wouldn't have went through all that. So he was not respected against politicians. Like, he was respected because he's like an old dude that went through some shit earlier in his life. But he was just a curmudgeon that a lot of people didn't like. Like, they
So
knew if they put something to the floor, this guy was going to stick it to his own party.
yeah.
That was the MO he got.
So John McCain is the reason that I had to give more money to the government at the end of last year. Because
it's a whole thing, man. Like, you should watch it, really. It's called like the 19 seconds or something. He leaves, and he comes back, and he makes this big spectacle where he's either got to do thumbs up or thumbs down. And like, he just gives a big thumbs down, and you see like Elizabeth Warren clapping for him. It's really bizarre.
jeez.
Even Rubio was just looking at him like, you fucking asshole. Like, cause he told them that he was obviously going to vote with them, and then just flipped it on them. That's the corruption that happens, man. You don't know how he came to that conclusion.
Yeah.
Like, is he standing on his morals, or is there more to it? I think there's more to it.
So, like with Trump and McCain, and obviously they had a history, you know, with Trump saying, no, I don't like my veterans who were captured and all that shit.
I think he's trolling.
Yeah, he probably was, yeah. But like with the whole, you know, when McCain passed and all that, and I guess the flags at the White House were only at half mast for like 3 or 4 hours or something like that, and everyone's like, well, you gotta have the flags at half mast for like a week. Like,
yeah, I don't think he gives a shit about flags, honestly.
No, and then Trump had to give a half-ass. He had to give a half-ass statement about, I respect John. It's like, dude, we obviously know that you didn't like McCain, and McCain's family wished you do not appear at the funeral. Mike Pence is going to appear for you, and some other people in his administration, but Donald Trump specifically named as "do not be here." We don't want you here. And Donald Trump had to give this speech because I think because he was pressured, because he was getting a lot of pressure, like, John McCain.
They were mad that he wasn't going to give the speech at first.
He's in a tough spot. He's in a tough spot because he wants to be off the cuff, but his ego can't handle people keep telling him that he's not, he's not, he doesn't care about being presidential. Like, he had that whole joke of like, I don't want to be presidential, but he does.
Yeah.
He wants to be respected. He wants to be liked. And like, even he knows, like, I can't be a super asshole right now to John McCain's fan. Like, no one, it's just, the news will take that. They flip everything anyways, but that one's just easy to pick out. Like, if you're just a straight up asshole after a guy dies, because they've already painted the narrative that he's this great hero, so people aren't going to take it. But the whole flag thing, it's like, dude, this guy doesn't like any of the presidential work. Like, he's watching TV. This guy's watching Fox News all day. Like, he's not pulling the strings of like, oh, we need to be on top of that flag situation. Like, this guy's not like that, man. He's just a big overall thinker. Like, he's big picture guy. He's not micromanaging people. He just hires these rich assholes that he knows. And like, if they don't take care of something, they forget about the flag. He just says, fake news. Fake news. It's good.
God, yeah, that whole flag thing was just like, I don't know, just the things they get mad about at him. It's like, we have a lot other things you can be mad at him for that are more important. But the flag thing, like, really? I mean, fucking when Ted Kennedy died, Barack Obama had the flag at half-mast for pretty much a week.
Yeah. Ted Kennedy's another one, man. Like,
yeah.
That guy's a known drunkard that just did terrible shit to women. But he's a Kennedy, respected, That family's been through hell and back. But I think my favorite thing that happens on social media is this Barack Obama scandal-free presidency.
Oh, yeah.
That keeps coming
I do that all the time. It's so bizarre. Like, they don't think about any of his, like, drone strikes or just crazy shit that he did and the amount of people he killed as a scandal. Like, I guess it's not a scandal. And, like, his family was very well protected, and they showed, he's very presidential, a statesman. But this guy was not scandal-free. He's just as evil as the rest of them. And they get really brainwashed with it, that they think there's a good side and a bad side, when we shouldn't be trusting any of these people. Like, we should be worried about ourselves. We should be fixing our own problems. Like, we can't look to government to solve our issues. They can't give a shit about us. They just can't.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Especially a billionaire. A billionaire? You think a billionaire cares? Really?
Mm.
I mean, I'm cool with Trump because I think it's hilarious, but like I don't think he really. I just think he wanted to win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think when Barack Obama told him that he'll never be president, he said, "Fuck you, I will."
Oh yeah, at that correspondence dinner, he's like, "You're never gonna be president," and then what happened?
I guess he really was like seething over that. He got real upset, and like from then on, was like full in to go
Yeah, that
after.
was what 2011 or something, or
Yeah, it was a while ago.
That was during the whole. That was during the whole birther thing.
oh yeah, that's right.
He was really pushing that birth certificate stuff, like really out there. Like he was pushing like 9/11 stuff. Like Donald Trump was like really trying to push some like fringe theories, and then just like got in line with the Republicans. He's a New York Democrat, but everyone knew Hillary was going to run, so he had to run Republican. He's a Democrat.
Yeah, he knew that he had a better chance as a Republican for sure.
And he appeals to him, man. Like I give him credit that like I think part of him with his family, like Donald Trump Jr., like kind of showed him the way of like, dude, these people really fucking love you. Like if you just go out and do anything that supports average American citizens, you're gonna win this thing. It's really the forgotten people. I mean, they're the majority, but there's like the straight white male is like the shunned asshole for some reason.
Yeah.
And they're just dividing people by every way they can. If they can do it by race, by gender, by political party, it's just divide and conquer.
Yeah, I don't know about like who are the Democrats going to have run against him in in 2020 or whatever. Do you have any guesses?
I do. I don't think Cortez is one of them. I don't even know.
She's too young.
I think she's the type that will be pushed and pushed for them for a long time, though. I don't think it's Elizabeth Warren. I think it's like a Cory Booker type. If it's not him, it's just your standard 60-year-old white man that will be running. I don't think they want to go the route of we got a woman president, we got a black. I don't think they. I think they're going to learn that they can't identity politics. They'll push it, but I don't think they'll run a candidate on that. It's just too much. They've just lost too much culturally.
Yeah, I was thinking of like a Kamala Harris or something like that, or an Andrew Cuomo.
Oh yeah, that guy.
I hear these names and I think like these people are hated.
Yeah.
Like Cuomo's hated in New York, man. Like I'm from New York. Like people hate the Cuomos because they've just been in power for so long and nothing gets done. It's just the same old shit.
Yeah, they're the 50th free estate. So congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. I wonder if they could have some outside like Trump type, celebrity type candidate that tries to come in.
Oprah.
Oh God.
Oh yeah, Kanye. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, because they were talking about like The Rock and Oprah and all this stuff, but I just think they're more buttoned up. We're gonna run the best presidential candidate we can. They don't like any of this fringe Trump types. Like they've been pushing so far against it, against Trump, they can't bring someone out. Like, oh, he's a kook. Here's our celebrity. Like, I don't think they'll do that. Kamala Harris was a good guess. She's got a lot of heat on her, but not as much as like an Elizabeth Warren. She's not as well known.
Yeah, because could you imagine if it was Elizabeth Warren, then the whole time Donald Trump's like, "Hey, when are you gonna take that DNA test?
Yeah,
an actual Indian or not? Like, when are you gonna do that?" Whole time.
Dude, I actually hear people say like, "Why can't they just run Hillary again?" It's like, dude, because she already got smashed, man. Like, it's just not gonna happen. Like, yeah, I know the whole popular vote thing, but like publicly, she just got slapped. Like, people don't respect her. I think they should have. I honestly think they should have put her in jail. Anybody else would be in jail for that crime.
They were supposed to do
well,
that,
they
right?
still chant that, was it lock her up and all that? And I mean, let's be honest, Donald Trump isn't going to lock her up.
Yeah, there's a reason he might not be. That was a big selling point for him. A lot of people thought he was. Like, I talked to a lot of supporters that say, like, I really thought he was going to lock her up, and I don't support him anymore that he isn't. Like, I don't know if you guys know about that QAnon movement.
Oh yeah, I heard about it from
That's
Mouthy Buddha. He did a video on it.
Yeah, so people think it's fake, people think it's real, but it's a lot of people, man. It's a lot of people. Like they got a lot of followers that are into that stuff, and it's all about taking down these elite government people that are entrenched. Like, so it's like we will be locking Hillary up, and it's like it's supposed to be an insider, you know, with high clearance, high security clearance, and he drops little clues of what they're gonna do, and
Like-
they
Based on like the past things that Q like predicted or said was going to happen, do you think that it's just a coincidence that people are just finding things that are, you know, that line up with that type of thinking, or do you think it's real?
by real, I don't know if it's what they say they are. It could be someone close. I don't know if it's actually someone with clearance that sits next to Donald Trump every day. But there could be an insider that has information that he leaks to somebody and they drop it online. It's just gotten weird where like the accounts change and oh, like this is Q now and this one isn't open anymore and this one's compromised. So it gets really weird, but it's an odd thing where like if you're not in it, they trust it completely. That's what I'll tell you. They trust it 100%, and if you don't trust it 100%, you're not in. So my take is shunned by people in that community, where I'm not sure. I don't know. How could I know?
Not allowed to question it, huh?
It's a trust. It's a trust the plan.
Trust the plan. Jeez, that sounds like a.
I heard some people say, or like there was one take saying that it's Donald Trump himself.
Yeah, there's some takes that are, dude. I've heard John F. Kennedy Jr. So it gets bizarre. It gets bizarre. It's a conspiracy that I see why it's popular, because you feel really involved. You think you're getting this secret information, and some of these things line up. Like there was even one, I don't know exactly, so I don't want to butcher it, but they had the time of McCain's death, like at exactly a month out, where they talked about him.
Oh, really? Okay, I didn't see that one.
Said like they call him No Name, so they'll say No Name's going to be out of the news soon and all this, and then dude, they're just so technical with stuff where they line up the times and this, and they put everything together really nice. So I see why people follow it. It's just too much for me to follow. I can pop in, look at it, kind of get out. I can't trust the plan.
So has there been anything that, like any of the videos that you've done, where when you're doing your research, it opened your eyes to you couldn't believe that this was, not necessarily like a conspiracy theory, but anything that you learned was actually true, that when you first were researching it, you're like, there's no way.
The first one ever was 9/11. That was the first one for me back in the day. I was really young. I was like a senior in high school when 9/11 happened. I remember them wheeling the TV into the room. Like they had the big unit that bring this old ass TV, and we're like just watching it as it happens, But the official report, the 9/11 Commission, isn't exactly what happened on 9/11. If you believe it's all a conspiracy or not, what they told us it wasn't. There's no way this guy overseas concocted this whole plan with no help from anybody else. It's just not conceivable. I can't believe that this guy out in the caves without the technological experience, without the troops. I mean, Al Qaeda is not what they told us it was. It's a boogeyman that they like to scare us with. So that was my first one, where I just said, I don't know if it's fully a conspiracy like these people come up with, but I don't believe what the government's telling me about it. And I think the most recent one, that it wasn't something I researched, but it was just the election of Donald Trump, where I walked into work the next day. People were crying.
Yeah.
People left work.
Yes, left work. At my work.
And I'm the only one sitting there having all this extra work, and I'm talking to the boss, and I go, well, why'd they get to go home? And he was just like, they're really emotional today. We need to support them. I go, if Trump lost and I walked in and told you I want to go home, you would just call me a pussy, and not, just this double standard that these people get to leave. So that's when I kind of started my channel, where I was like, fuck this. This is weird. People are crying. Men, grown men, were crying and going home from work. How do you look at a man that you work with that cried, went home, comes back to work like it's good, like it's all cool? Like,
Okay, I got all my emotions out. I'm good to work now. Oh, I'm glad you took your day off, mister. I'm so happy for you.
I had a really relaxing day. Like I just, unwinded with a glass of wine. Like I just can't. I never looked at him the same.
Yeah. Did a little, the little Pepe face, the little, or the Kermit the Frog, sipping your little teacup or whatever. It's like, yeah, all y'all losers, while I'm sitting here being a winner.
So I guess a lot of those big stage ones, like Oklahoma City bombing, 9/11, just the story that we get, I don't think is what really happens because they have to keep some stuff under wraps. Even if it's just for security, they would never tell us everything that these people put into the plan to actually take down the tower. Like they wouldn't let that information out, so they kind of got to. There's a lot of holes in the story because they can't tell you everything.
Yeah, some people are saying that the whole 9/11 thing is it was a way for Bush to push the war in Iraq or in Afghanistan. Yeah. It was like his way of saying, "Oh, see, now we can go to war now," because they were trying to find a way to do it without let's just go start bombing them for whatever reason because my daddy lost or whatever.
I mean, so that I can kind of bring it back to Alex Jones on this one. He gets kicked off because he throws out conspiracy theories and they say he lies and he causes people damage and all this stuff. You can say the same thing about mainstream media with the weapons of mass destruction from back then. They totally pushed the story that this was real. They've never found any. There was never any. To push a war that killed hundreds of thousands of people. Yeah. They would never get pulled. They would never have their channel taken down because to them it's, oh, well, they just misreported something they thought. But it's not. They're pushing that message. They're told to push that message. Like, hey, we need you to write that there's weapons of mass destruction and really push it. Like, if they investigated it and there's no evidence, they wouldn't put the story out. So the government leaks that information to them. They put it out. All of a sudden, we're in this crazy war that lasted years. Man. So many people died that didn't have to die. But as far as going into war being the reason, I think it was as much that as him passing the Patriot Act.
Yeah.
Where a lot of our securities were taken away, a lot of our freedoms. Every email gets read, every text gets read, every phone call listened to. So I think that's a big part of it. What about you guys? I mean, do you guys do this where you research something and you're like, oh shit? Or like you just keep it political?
Not really. I haven't really
the food stuff.
The food stuff?
Yeah.
Like Monsanto?
Yeah, and the one that we watched recently about the wheat.
Oh, yeah. Mostly the stuff about food, because we tried the Whole30 diet and a lot of the food stuff and pharmaceutical stuff, it's kind of, I guess because it actually happened to us where, we try to, eliminate some foods and just eat natural foods and how, like our face cleared up and all that.
Yeah. And then you try to add the foods back in and then your body just doesn't.
It's toxic.
Mm-hmm.
The stuff they're putting in the food is just plain toxic.
Yeah.
And it's just because it's so accessible and it's so mass produced that's what the kids are eating. But that's why everyone's so obese and everyone's like nasty, really. I don't know what documentary you guys watched, but like when you look into that Monsanto stuff,
oh yeah,
they're as an evil company because they're an evil company. They just, the stuff they do with seeds and the land that they take and what they put, the pesticides that go on the food and how they get it on the food, and these small farms that just get taken out because they need the land for their food, that GMO. So those documentaries are really hard to watch. Like they showed
like the animals and how they're treated and stuff too.
Yeah.
I think it was the one that got me was like one of those chicken coops where they show how many are in there and they're just fucking killing each other. There's nowhere to move.
And they're all
so fat, they can't even like walk.
Yeah.
That's fucking, I mean, that does make you want to change your diet, but that's also hard to do.
It's expensive.
It's expensive.
That is expensive.
Yeah, I was working at a place that was like the local version of like a Whole Food, you know, just like all locally brought in produce and meat and all this stuff. Like even with a discount, I couldn't afford it. I mean, it was just so expensive every day to eat like that. But if you can stay away from the toxic shit, I would say just don't eat processed food or don't eat fast food.
Yeah.
Have you heard of like people going on that carnivore diet?
I have. I think it was Jordan Peterson I heard did it.
Yeah, we're gonna try that. So we're gonna see how it goes.
Yeah.
Are you guys into you guys like know hunters or
No, we're just gonna buy organic meat and see how it goes.
yeah, people I mean it sounds like one of those things that just affects people different. It works for some people, it doesn't work for others. I don't think people can say like this diet works because it's all how your body takes it. And I think it's good that you guys are gonna try it together. And I think it was Jordan Peterson that his daughter had some kind of real issue.
Yeah.
He had to start a weird diet and then he got into it. Yeah, Rogan pushes that a lot. Or was it keto? What's keto?
Keto's almost, it's like only vegetables and meat and fats. But then it's like a stricter form of paleo, but more focused on like the fats.
I've never done a diet.
Oh, really?
I just try to eat all right. Like I don't know. Like I just never. The meat diet sounds good. I could eat meat every day. I don't know.
Like
only meat.
Eating nothing but meat. Like it's gonna be weird. Like okay, for breakfast, I'm just gonna have
steak.
Like,
yeah, steak. Yeah.
And then
and then for lunch, steak.
Yeah. I mean, steak's awesome, but are you gonna get sick of it? You know.
Yeah.
Well, that's what they say when you do that diet. If you don't plan on being on it for a really long time or for the long run, they only do it for like what, a month or
a month.
For just a month, and then start.
Even a month seems really long, but we're gonna try to get through it. I'm just like sad that I have to give up potatoes.
No like can't the carbs. Only meat, man. What made you guys want to do the month of meat?
Well, it's like we were on Whole30, which is basically paleo, and then we're gonna turn it to keto, and then after that, like slowly go into meat and see if eliminating all carbs does anything. So
I think the main reason why we wanted to do it was just to see what it would like the effects.
Yeah, I know a couple people personally who have lost weight or like gotten rid of all of their pain in their body. So
yeah.
You guys use like CBD or smoke or anything?
No, we're totally not libertarian in that regard.
Yeah, we're not.
I think the CBD is fun because you're not getting psychoactive. It's just like really calming, for your joints and stuff. And there's no THC, there's no drug in it.
I do want to try that. I keep hearing really good things about that.
I thought it was great. Like I don't use it all the time, but every once in a while, like if I'm sore, man, that stuff's great. Like it just really relaxes you, but you're not high. There's nothing wrong with being high, but
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we need to get into more natural remedies to cure pain, like you were saying. If you've got a chronic pain issue, you don't want to mask it with a drug or a chemical.
Yeah, I need to stop masking symptoms.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a big problem, like you brought up with Big Pharma. That's just such a huge problem that doesn't get brought up enough.
That's because people just don't know about it unless you're on the inside. We just saw
Mary Ruart.
Yeah, Mary Ruart spoke in Fort Worth about Big Pharma because she used to work for Big Pharma. So then she knows all the insides and how it takes forever to get certain drugs approved that people actually need. So there's a lot of cures that people already have, but they can't pass it.
Yeah, it's because of the FDA. The FDA prolongs like all the steps that are needed to,
yeah,
and like drugs and all that. Yeah,
supplements are like considered different than drugs. They try to discourage those from working, even though they work better than some of the drugs. Yeah.
Well, since we were talking about with the diet, how it can't be one size fits all. It's the same thing with drugs, but that's how they push them. That this drug is going to cure this problem, but everyone has a different reaction. I think it was Crowder that actually talked about it on Rogan, where they they have the technology now where they can do some blood tests and show you what medicines that your body would react badly to or whatever. So, I mean, you probably got to have some like sick ass insurance to be doing stuff like that all the time, but like at least people can know what, you know, if I take this SSRI, my brain's going to go crazy. I might kill some people. I shouldn't be taking this kind of stuff. I came from a place where I used to take drugs recreationally to the point where I got addicted to them. So I just look at it like it's the people's choice to take them. And when you get addicted, I think it's your choice. But the way they push them on younger and younger people nowadays gets them in that mode of taking drugs to mask the problem. And it's not fun, man. You see people addicted to some of these things, like the painkillers. Like it changes people. Some are never the same again.
Yeah, it changes your personality. And I feel like once you get addicted, then it's just like, then you'll just do anything to get.
You don't care about anything else.
Yeah.
That's as plain and simple as you can put it. You just don't care about anything else. So I think if there can be other remedies out there to help people not take really strong painkillers, that'd be a step in the right direction. Mm-hmm. But I don't think it'll ever happen. It's too much money. Too much power they have.
So one last question, and then we'll end the stream.
Right.
Kind of go on a lighter note, but have you seen Owen Benjamin live?
No.
Oh man, you should, because like she mentioned before, we've seen him a few times, and we're gonna see him again. He's coming back here in Texas in September.
Yeah, like 2 weeks from now.
Yeah, and
he was like living like not too far from where I was, but he had some big issue where he's not performing in the place where he was living. I know he's moved since then, but it was like Saranac Lake where he's living. Mm-hmm. He mentioned that in the stream. He's like, I don't even want to get into the family stuff, but let's just say I won't be performing there anymore. If he ever came anywhere close, I would go see him. Not too many people come to the city I'm in upstate New York. They're just, you might get someone a few hours away. And New York City is 6 hours from me. So
would I guess would Buffalo be then the closest city?
Buffalo's about an hour. So if he came to Buffalo, I would go. This is just really cool. Like, he just looks like he's having a great time.
And what I like is he always sticks around afterwards and like drinks with everyone.
Yeah, he's really cool, and he's very personable with all the people that are willing to talk to him. And he even
he'll get in debates. Like,
even a couple of times I we were watching him talk to someone. I can't remember exactly what the debate was, but yeah, they were having a pretty good discussion on some political topic, and it didn't get hostile or anything. They just had a disagreement, and they both talked it out, and then at the end they were just like, all right, well, thanks for that talk. It was cool. Nice to have a discussion. Okay, bye.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he seems like a good dude, but he seems really smart. Like, just knowing how to play the piano like that, his brain just works in a different way. I think that's what I like about him. But I watch him more just on his podcast than I watch his comedy. Like, I found him from, like, I think one of you guys posted a live stream like a year ago. That's how I found Owen Benjamin. I had never heard of him. So I just started watching his podcast. I know, like, maybe 3 bits of his comedy.
His comedy's really good.
It's funny. Yeah. It's funny too, because we saw we saw him do stand up the first time. This was before
he got big.
Yeah,
so we just knew about him from, what was it, Anthony Cumia? Right?
Yeah, he did. He did one of the episodes of Anthony Cumia, like way long.
It was funny. Right after I had talked to you, and then I watched your stream, and you're wearing the Cumia shirt. I tweeted Anthony Cumia on one of his accounts, and then he followed me and was like, he watched the video and said, like, oh, I got to have Owen back on.
Yeah.
Hopefully he does, man.
Yeah, see, that's the cool thing about Anthony. Whether I know people have problems with him and whatever, that's cool, whatever, but
he's great.
He'll have Owen Benjamin on. Yeah. Well, I guess because, it's a subscription based, and Anthony's also, knows what it's like to be exiled.
Well, his new book is like permanently suspended.
Yeah.
So it's just like, he knows, man. He had Alex Jones on the day after. Like, he just knows how it is. Do you guys watch Chiv?
I do.
I watch.
It's the fucking best. Like,
Dude,
I don't get
okay.
the humor. I don't get it.
Well, yeah.
But I just he just laughs the whole time.
Okay, so like the most recent one where he had Kevin Brennan, who's like my favorite person for some reason, but I love Kevin Brennan. And then Robert Kelly, Mark Norman, who also will be in Texas in September, which is weird, but
I know that weekend's gonna be great.
yeah. But yeah, that whole episode is just I don't know. Anytime they have a phone guest, it's just you're just waiting for this awkwardness to happen because
one, I think it was called Chipper the Destroyer.
oh yeah, the Opie one where they were talking when they're talking shit about Opie. Yeah.
That was the one recently. Right?
I hear Norton's about to leave Sirius and go to Compound.
Is that just a rumor though? Because I saw
kind of,
about that, but is he seriously considering that, or is that just
him talk on his show where he was just like negotiations aren't going good with Sirius, and he just kept alluding to there's another company that's subscription based that could be picking. You know, he just kept saying that.
Well, okay, so I know this could just be another one of those what ifs, but what if he's just doing this because Opie did that a lot? Didn't Opie and Anthony, Opie's like, man, I could be doing this by myself, or I don't know, negotiations aren't going so well, and I don't know, maybe he's doing a Opie thing because Jim Norton and Anthony Cumia were recently were both like, fuck it, we're just gonna talk shit about it because it's so awesome, whatever, because we don't give a fuck anymore,
Part of me is like, I think they both know like if they don't do it now, like it just can't happen, and I think they really just when they have that chemistry with even how bad Chip is at doing the bad jokes on purpose, like they're just having fun, and I think he really does love Sam, but I don't think it's how he feels about it.
Well also too, they did that show for so long, and then when they brought Anthony back, you could obviously tell with those videos that Jim was excited and happy, and then Anthony got banned again. And now he's like, okay, the only way they're able to do anything together is if they do Chip or if Jim goes on Anthony's show. And that's it.
Yeah, I've always loved those guys. I never liked Opie. I really just never did. He always just came off as ruining the jokes. He would just stop comedians. I was a big Patrice O'Neal guy. And
yeah.
Have him in, and he's rolling every time, man. He would just cut him off. And it was like, this guy was only here for a short time because he had diabetes, It's like, man, this guy killed so many of that guy's good jokes. And they kind of strung him along where, like, he was supposed to have his own show. And I guess Opie kind of messed with that because, like, he felt it was going to take some of the shine away, And it's just like, dude, it's got to be about helping people grow. It's got to be about, even if he's not your best friend, like, you shouldn't be trying to stop people from growing. You should just help them, like, hey, subscribe to these people. Listen to this guy's comedy. Find out if you like it. Even if I don't like it, someone else might like it. So I don't like people stealing other people's shine like that. I don't know. I guess that's a big thing with me.
Have you heard of any of Opie's new podcast?
Yeah.
Pretty bad.
There's a podcast from where I'm from in Rochester that pick the whole thing apart. You know what I'm talking about?
Who are these podcasts?
Yeah. So I reached out to him. I was like, dude, you guys are from Rochester? They're like, oh yeah, we should fucking chill or whatever. And I was like, oh, okay. But yeah, man, when the microphone, like, how are you in radio for this long? And he's holding the microphone up to the guy. I don't know if you guys saw that one, but he literally had like 2 studio mics that he just needed to plug a cord in.
Mm-hmm.
He's literally holding up this little mic that sounds like shit. It's just like, how brain dead.
Well, the bad thing too is there's all this background noise.
Yeah, if he was doing like a live show with video, then it would make sense, but it sounds ridiculous.
Yeah, but so the way they mask it though is they have this, this voiceover. I can't remember what the guy's name is, but he's like, oh, this is happening, and these two, there's one in particular I remember where he went to Mike Bichetti's house. He's like, oh, these 2 guys are making my job a living hell because they keep talking, and it's like, dude.
Well, what they said that nailed it for me was he's still treating it like radio.
Yeah.
Like he kept plugging the bar he was at, even though he already said it
right.
first.
Right.
He's treating the podcast like he's still on a 3-hour radio show where he keeps saying, like, oh, we're down here at 45th Street. And it's like, dude, people don't give a shit.
Yeah.
They don't care where you are.
Yeah. And I mean, he's got his fans, he has people who listen to his podcast, which more power to him. That's great. I'm glad that you're able to do what you with people you like to do radio or whatever it's called. But
when you put the challenge out, I think that was it. I challenge you to find anything funnier than my podcast. Might have been the dumbest thing I ever saw. I've been watching Chip for like a week, man. And I'm just fucking. I just can't get enough of it.
Dude, every episode is great. And
that breaks them down. There's a channel on YouTube that breaks them down, so you don't gotta listen to the full hour.
Oh, where he is it where he breaks character?
Yeah, it's like Daniel.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
dude, that's perfect. Sometimes I don't got an hour. I just get 30 minutes of chipping.
It's basically Jim Norton, where Anthony makes him laugh, and
it's perfect. It's perfect. I love it.
Yeah,
dude, this was awesome, Matt. This was awesome.
Yeah, thanks. I really appreciate you, coming on, and yeah, it was a lot of fun. We'll definitely.
If I'm allowed to, I'll just invite you guys, but I think I'm like 90 days away from being able to stream again.
Hey, I mean,
in 90 days, then.
Yeah, in 90 days, or if you just want to do a video together, whatever.
Yeah, man. Dude, when you guys invited me, I was like, it'll just be good. Like, I just figured we could talk because I feel like we might differ politically on some things, but I think we just like talking shit. So it's good.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I think that's how it should be,
Yeah.
I appreciate that a lot, guys. It was nice meeting you.
Yeah, you too.
Thanks. Talk to you soon.
Have a good night, everybody.
Bye, guys.
Thank you. Bye.